morning everybody, and welcome to another video. I've just had a phone call off Al to say that 4 trees apparently have come down on the allotment, and because he's still incapacitated with his leg, he's asked me to go round and have a look. Apparently they're the trees that belong in the cemetery. If you watched my last video, I did talk about the trees that belonged in the cemetery. So apparently a tree surgeon's coming down at lunchtime to sort them out. But I'm just on the way round there now to see what's what. When I first moved into this house here, it was about 4 years ago now, one of the plus points for me was how close it was to my allotment. And one day I walked from my front door to my shed door on the plot, and it took me exactly 6 minutes. So I can be round there in about 6 minutes, which is quite handy. And if I've got in the summer, if I've got an hour spare or something, I can just nip round quickly and do a little bit and then home again. So it's quite convenient. So here we are now, just approaching the road to the allotment. I should have mentioned at the beginning, we're in the aftermath of 2 back-to-back storms. We had one over the weekend, and then we had another one over the last couple of days, Storm Jocelyn. And last night I was lying in bed and I could hear the wind. Gosh, it was horrendous. But it seems quite calm today. Still windy, but a lot calmer than it was yesterday. So it looks like the gates are locked. And in my last video I mentioned the cemetery that's sort of at the back of the site where all the poplar trees are. And this is the gates to the cemetery here. They're normally open on a Wednesday, so oh no, it's locked today, but it's normally open on a Wednesday. Let's just see if it's still locked. So I was going to go in and do a little tour, but the gates are locked. It's a very, very old cemetery. There are some new graves down at the bottom, but in the main it's quite old. And you can see the poplar trees there in the distance that back onto the... Oh, there's the lady to open up now. Alright. So I've just been talking to Sandra, the lady who opened the gates, and there's a tree surgeon coming at 12 o'clock today to do emergency work, which is taking this tree down, but they're just going to leave it. They're going to slice it up and just leave it sort of in situ. And then there's one there that's sort of leaning in a very precarious manner, so they're going to pull that this way into the cemetery and then again just slice that up and leave it in situ. And then there's another going... Oh gosh, it's a bit... And then there's a couple more trees here. Where did I see them? Oh yeah, there. There's a couple of trees there, but apparently they're not posing any danger at the moment, so they're going to come back and do that at a later date. But I've just been invited to a meeting next week. They're making, well, this is a conservation area, but they want to manage it a bit better. So they're having a meeting next week with various people of the community and a tree surgeon and a conservationist and that sort of thing. And we're going to discuss what we can do moving forward. Apparently one thing he mentioned was all these little saplings here, they're too crowded, there's too many of them. So some of them will have to come out, unfortunately, but I suppose it'll make room for the others to grow. But it's a beautiful area. Who'd think, sort of just across the back here on the other side of the road, there's a massive big housing estate, and yet standing here you could be anywhere, absolutely anywhere. It's so peaceful. And there's the... beautiful. So I might toddle down here at 12 o'clock and see what's going on. Apparently it's a day's work just doing those 2 trees, so he's going to bring enough men to be able to do it in half a day. But it's a good job they're falling this way, because as you can see, this house is just on the other side of that lane. A couple of years ago, one did actually come down right across the lane and right through somebody's summer house. And apparently about half an hour previously, the couple had been sitting in the summer house and they decided to go shopping. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened. So as you can see, the cemetery is quite old. These are very old graves. Oh, imagine being buried under that tree. Wouldn't that be lovely? Well, it wouldn't be nice to be buried because you'd have to be dead, but you know what I mean. And then this is kind of the newer area. And the lady Sandra was just explaining to me that they have got new graves going there in that area there, but they're not going to take them any further. So once that fills up, the cemetery will become closed then. Oh, who's put that cone there? I'm going to go move that. I was just looking at this headstone here. Isn't that beautiful? All the Celtic motifs on that. And here's another beautiful headstone. Isn't that beautiful? I love the way the ivy's climbing up the angel, and I love the way she's sort of looking up towards the sky. And just to give you a bit of perspective, this is the edge of the cemetery, and over the other side of that, brambles and bushes, is my allotment. Tree surgeons are here now. We're just discussing the best way to get the trees down. And we're just approaching the allotment gates now. And they've got their wagon down the lane, so they've blocked it off. So hopefully it'll be safe. And I'll go to this meeting next week and see what they have to say there. So I'm just carrying on my way to get the bus into town. I can hear the chainsaw, and there's the trees there that they're cutting down. I hear the chainsaw in the distance.